What's up, everyone? This is episode 24 of the 300 Club podcast. My name is Gil. This is Kelvin.
What's going on, peoples?
It's been about a week and change since we last spoke. A lot has changed in the baseball world and the landscape. Unfortunately, my team didn't advance to the World Series. We lost in 6 games. I'm still proud of my team. We should have never been in the situation on that position. Though I do have takeaways of the series, of course, despite that me being happy with my team. I feel like we walked way too many hitters. The Dodgers are a team that capitalizes on runners on base, as you're seeing it now in the World Series. But we'll deep dive later in this recording. But yeah, too many walks. The pitchers, they were kind of nibbling. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but
Yeah.
they just weren't attacking the hitters directly, trying to get them out. And when you nibble, it's a high chance. It's not gonna go your way. And yeah, we just didn't hit enough when it mattered. We had plenty of opportunities to base loaders, and we just didn't cash in. And yeah, the better team won at the end of the day. That's what I expected to advance. Us, it was a Cinderella story. The Dodgers, they're standing on business. They should go to the World Series, and they're there now. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, solid points there. First and foremost, man, shout out to the Mets. They
Yeah,
were a story to watch all year. I
yeah,
was hoping and praying that they would reach the World Series. Whether they were going to win the World Series, I don't know, but
yeah.
it was going to be a story nonetheless. Something that they could have made a movie out of. You know,
Yeah.
the team just had a lot of good vibes going into the playoffs, man, and we were very critical of Francisco Lindor in previous episodes here on the 300 Club podcast. We were very critical of him. We were wondering whether or not he was going to step up, and he did. Not only on a leadership level, but also statistically as well. This is probably his best year as a Met. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is definitely his best year as a Met, top to bottom. I
Yeah.
like the fact that he switched to leader pro, and I hope he stays there for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and you did mention a great point about the Dodgers, which we are seeing now as we go ahead and tell you guys about the results of the ALCS and who's in the World Series right now. I mean, you guys might know at the time of this recording, but the Dodgers, the way that the Mets were actually trying to push the Dodgers was by trying to nibble on the corner, trying to pitch around the plate. And as we know now, the Dodgers don't seem to chase,
They
and that
don't
was one of my
chase.
they don't chase, and that was my big one of my biggest concerns going into the next series against whether it was the Guardians or the Yankees. In this case, it's
Yeah,
the Yankees, and
yeah,
it's like we don't have strikeout pitchers. We don't have pitchers that can more or less just strike you out with just a fastball at 99, 100 miles an hour. We don't have that in the bullpen. We don't. We have pitchers that are very crafty that throw 50 changeups in a row, throw a lot of off speed, a lot of sliders, and it's going to be very difficult for us as the Yankees to combat the Dodgers hitting as we see now since we're down 2-0. But I mean, nonetheless, the Mets, like you mentioned time and time again, they weren't even supposed to be here, and they were, and they made a statement, and they were definitely the team to watch going into the playoffs, at least in my opinion. One of the persons that I actually wanted to highlight, besides Francisco Lindor on the Mets side, dude, it's the emergence of Mark Vientos, bro, Swaggy V.
Aggie
This
V.
dude this dude it's more about what he's done throughout the year. It's about what this kid is doing. uh Let me see. It's about what this kid is doing in playoffs when it matters the most. And I wanted to go ahead and share this clip. The Mets were trailing, and he did what he had to do with a slider. Like that's what you're supposed to do. That tells me that as this kid progresses into a hopefully a long MLB career, he looks very much polished at the plate. I want to go ahead and play it back right here. He did not look phased on that. Well, I guess he was trying to front door him,
Yeah,
and it just hung in there.
yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to do, dead center. You know, this guy, I feel like his confidence has definitely grown. I hope that he progresses. I think we are watching the emergence of hopefully potential top five third baseman in the MLB. Is that a far fetch? What do you think?
Offensively, yeah, I do think he needs to make more strides defensively, though I've seen some improvements this year. It showed in the series too. There were some plays that are a little more difficult for him. It seems like it's a forward issue and reaction, but I he's still young, This is his first full year in third, so I'll give him another try at it.
Yeah,
I would say I was telling one of my boys, he's a Met fan too. I'm like, if Vieto has another year like this season, or maybe two more. Like I'll try to sign him early, like the way the Atlanta Braves do. You know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the I think what they're trying to see is who is Mark Ventos? You know, he had one good year. I think next year they're gonna go into it as who is this guy? And
Yeah,
if I'm Cohen, you know, I'm definitely holding off a little bit because you want to see who this player is, and then you have a lot of potentially a lot of top free agents going into this year and next year as well that they might want to target. Who knows? Maybe Manny Machado could also be on the table. I mean, the Padres do owe a lot of money to a lot of these players, and you never know. You never know. Manny Machado was somebody who grew up in the East.
yeah.
You know, you never know. You never know. Another player that well, before we move on to another player, I wanted to ask you, going into next year, what do you want the Mets to improve on?
Well, we need to have a hitting coach like work that with Francisco Alvarez. I know he got some hits towards the end of the series, but I feel like if this team wants to get going, he has to be hitting at a respectable rate. I'll give him some grace because he had multiple injuries this year, but his just mechanics and approach up at the plate is just horrible. It goes back to a previous episode where I told you that I feel like players nowadays they already commit before the pitch is thrown if they're going to swing or not, and I see that a lot from him. He chases a lot of the strike zone, and it's like if you're chasing so much of the strike zone and on the first pitch, that means you're already committed before the pitch even comes, because you're not even giving it time. You're not even seeing enough pitches. You know what I mean? So
You're right.
that's something to address, but he's still gonna be our catcher, we got to figure out the Pete Alonso situation. If he's gonna
And
get paid, if he's
and
not.
I wanted to add on to your point. And when you are going up there expecting a certain pitch and you have it in your head that you are sitting dead red on whatever's coming,
Yeah.
this is the result that you get. This is literally the result that you get. So great point that you made. And hopefully it's an adjustment that not only the Mets make, but the Yankees as well. But we're not there yet. So go ahead.
We definitely got to address the starting pitching. We need some depth. I don't think we have that many young arms in the farm system. Most of our best players are position players right now. Maybe I'll try to get like a Corbin Burns to be our ace. Free agent for the Orioles, you give him a 5-year deal. Maybe you can get Blake Snell too and pair him up with Senga. Maybe you bring back Manaya.
Well, let me
Maybe you
ask you this. Are you in the market for any starting pitcher, right? Any starting pitcher, or are you looking for somebody who is, you know, maybe are you looking for my question to you is, are you looking for a pitcher that is under development, a veteran like a Corbin Burns who potential also what I mean by veteran is somebody who's already had tenure in the MLB, or are you looking more towards like an elder statesman, like somebody who's 34, 35? What are you looking for?
Nah, I need a Corbin Burns for it. This team, like again, like I like the season that we have, and you can only build from here. There's a lot of good things that you saw this year, but I think we need a legit ace to like set the tone for the rotation. Like I feel like again, guys like Manaya, Severino, Quintana, they overachieved this year, but nonetheless, they're not typically number one starters. They were asked a little more than they provided, and shout out to them. But we need someone that can get the ball every fifth day and dominate and have some type of playoff experience the way Corbin Burn has.
I agree. I agree. I think that was very well said in terms of like the
And
observations as to what the
and
Mets need.
I would love about three more relievers, like really good relievers, in my opinion. I feel like we need
Um,
that.
I wanted to follow up with you because early on this year, I had my set opinion on your head coach,
Yeah,
and you know now that we can conclude the Mets season at this moment,
yeah.
have your thoughts, opinions might have changed?
I did have some questionable thoughts in his decision making against the Dodgers, but nonetheless, overall, I think he held the team together throughout the year. I feel like he did better than what was expected as a rookie manager. I feel like he should be in the conversation of what is it, manager of the year in baseball? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Manager of the year, but he wasn't one of the finalists, surprisingly. Um,
that is
yeah,
shocking too.
he should stay. I feel like he did a good job, and as a team, you want a manager that has been there for some years to build the culture and identity. And I feel like so far it's been a good match. So far, we have the right president of operations, David Stearns, and we have the right owner. So I feel like as long as they all communicate within each other and the results display themselves, I don't see an issue. Additionally, I feel like many players overachieve under his regime, so maybe that's something to look forward to.
Very well said. Very well said. I know that you had some strong opinions, and you know it is good to see that at least for the most part he was able to prove not only you, but
Yeah.
in general, a
Yeah.
lot of people. I mean, you're a first year manager, but not only that, like, he essentially the Mets rallied behind each other and were able to make a deep playoff run, very, very deep playoff run. And
Yeah.
I will say this, a lot of the mistakes that he has made that I have observed
Yeah.
are not as grave as the mistakes that I see from the other New York
Oh,
manager.
but you knew that
I knew
already.
that already, absolutely. But point is like I guess his mistakes are passable because it's his first year and we didn't
Yeah.
expect the Mets to go out this far,
Yeah.
go this far.
Yeah.
On the other side of the on the other side of the spectrum, Aaron Boone, on the other hand, is like the decisions that he's making. I just feel like they're just not logical. But we're gonna get into that shortly. But in comparison to each other, and mind you, this was he was the bench coach for Aaron Boone.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and it's like the flaws are showing. The flaws are showing, and
Yeah.
we're gonna dive into that. Is there anything else Mets and Dodgers that you would like to add?
Damn Dodgers. That's all I gotta say.
Really? And you were saying that you guys own them too.
Yeah.
You know what it is, dude? It's just I feel like the Dodgers are just playing a better brand of baseball.
I mean, they have the better team. They should win, Like, I'm not too mad in that aspect. They
Right.
taking care of business, bro. And then great teams. If you want to be great, that's what you got to do, bro.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like they outslugged the Mets hands down. Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
just tacked on run after
yeah.
run. Tommy Edman, dude. Like who would have thought?
Oh,
And Mookie Betts, will that go down as one of the worst trades in MLB history? Mookie
Boston
Betts being
LA.
traded to the Dodgers, yeah.
They want to pay him. I don't know what it was. I think they were in a deficit. They just didn't want to pay him. Yeah,
And now look at him now. He's about to be a three-time World Series champion.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the craziest. That's crazy. Um, but I feel like the Mets were in it, dude. They were fighting. They didn't go down. They were
Hey,
going
six
down
games, bro.
swinging. Right,
Six games,
six
is 6 games,
games,
bro.
which is a lot more than other people might have thought. People thought I heard a lot of sweep 4-1.
Yeah,
Hey, 6 games. That's pretty competitive. And
yeah,
it was a high scoring game. I just feel like the Dodgers just out hit them.
yeah,
I give huge props to the Mets, and I'm saying it now as the Dodgers are playing against the Yankees. There's only one way to win, and you have to hit. And I
yeah,
told you this from the get go. I think it's way harder to hit in cold weather than it is to pitch in cold weather.
yeah. I agree.
Even though the weather hasn't really played much a factor in playoffs under pressure, I feel like it still applies. It's much harder to hit than it is to pitch
Yeah.
during these circumstances.
I
And the
mean,
Mets were hitting.
think about it as a pitcher. You're throwing every few seconds. As a hitter, you're only batting every 2, 3 innings.
Very, and maybe on average 3 to 5 opportunities per at bat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it's tough. It's tough. But the Dodgers, I just feel like they were just hitting pretty phenomenally, and I think that carried them over into the next series, dude. And they're doing a lot of timely hitting, a lot of great defense. But the timely hitting, dude, that's one thing. It's
1 through 9, bro. There's no breaks.
There's no breaks at all, and even with a hurt Freddie Freeman, it's like I just feel like right now they just have a lot of momentum. Like Yamamoto, excuse me, Yamamoto is finding his groove. He was pretty much not even doing that throughout the whole year, but they're doing it in times where it matters the most. And if you think about it, Yamamoto really is their ace. He's supposed to be their ace. He's the highest paid pitcher, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then on top of that, he's finding his groove right now. Jack Flaherty can easily be a lot of these teams one or 1A, 1B type pitcher. It is what it is. But I want to go ahead and dive into one of the biggest moments of the playoffs, at least in my views. Maybe you can probably share the same thing.
and as you
Yeah.
transition to that, I also want to point out that it's going to be recurring to what we said before. I feel like the Dodgers' advantage versus the Yankees in the World Series, they had to face the Padres and the Mets, where they couldn't take neither of those teams lightly. Versus the Yankees, like yeah, they had a
Little comp, but nothing
little
that too
comp, but
alarming,
it's
right?
not the same, bro. It's not the same on both
The
sides.
AL Central is not overly competitive division compared to other. Let me say this properly because I don't want to offend nobody. The AL Central is not as competitive as the top two teams in any other division.
I agree.
It's not a competitive part of the game or in part of the teams and so on. So I agree. But I mean, this is my biggest pet peeve about the Yankees right now. Situational hitting. You cannot come off the bench. You cannot come off the bench and swing at the first pitch with the game on the line.
Trevino, right?
Yeah, right. And but
I was
even before
watching that
that, it
one,
was
bro.
Verdugo. Like these mistakes are happening. And here's my biggest thing. I feel like every other team but the Yankees have gone into this playoff with uh like, everybody's just trying to do a job. Nobody's searching for the moment. I feel like they're just playing a lot cleaner baseball. I feel like there's a lot of teams that went into the playoffs already prepared and very cohesive with one another. And I feel like the Yankees right now are trying to find it. And you cannot be trying to find it when you're literally competing for the world and competing in the World Series. It's way too late for that. That's my view on that. That's my view on that. But one of the highlights that I wanted to share was one of the biggest moments. I will say this for anybody that is thinking about becoming a major league baseball player, you want to put up competitive at bats across all levels: collegiate, high school, recreational, professional. Please do yourself a favor and watch this entire at bat. This is how you develop a great at bat. Now, I don't have the full at bat here. I'm just showing the highlight. But man, this was one of the most epic at bats with two strikes that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying it because it's Juan Soto. It could have been anybody. But under this situation, this is how you put off a great competitive at bat. Fouling every pitch.
Yo, you know what's crazy, bro? I was watching this at bat, right? And I'm like, yo, the more pitches that he's falling off, it's advantage to Soto, not the pitcher, bro. And I had a feeling like the deeper that it went, I'm like, yo, it's a high probability that he's gonna get a hit than get it out, bro. Because he was just missing pitch after pitch after pitch, highly competitive at bat,
Right.
high leverage moment, clutch
And it's the
moment,
approach with two
phenomenal,
strikes. It's
phenomenal.
fouling off different pitches until he found the pitch that he wanted.
And
In
he
this case,
wants it.
he was hunting fastball, and he
Hmm.
got it. And he was playing my games with the pitches. There is nobody in the MLB right now that I can think of off the top of my head that can do this better than he can. However, for anybody that's trying to develop their skills, please go back and watch this full at bat and take notes. This is exactly how you're supposed to bat with two strikes, and this is how you become the hunter instead of being the one that's hunted.
Thanks.
It was great, man. It was great. But with this series, man, let me tell you something. Beating the Cleveland Indians, that does not impress me. And guess what? At some point, it did get scary because they had the opportunity to gain a lot of momentum. But there's a lot of things, a lot of flaws that I'm seeing, and it's fundamental things. For example, our base running. John Sterling said it best. We're running the bases like a bunch of drunks. Why are we doing these mistakes now?
Question, bro. You don't think that none of the things that are showing up for the Yankees is something that I have told you since April and May?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm
This
not
is
disagreeing
their
with you.
this is their identity, bro. This is who the Yankees are.
This is really who they are.
And the disconnect is that the fan bases wishes that they're not what they telling you that they are. Yeah, you won you won first place in your division. Yes, you advanced to beat the two teams prior to get to the World Series. Yes, you were expected to get to the World Series.
But when
But
you
at the
read
end of the
between the
day,
lines,
it's a very flawed team. Like as
exactly.
great as they are, they're very flawed. And like I mentioned to you earlier, the Dodgers, they play the Padres and they play the Mets. These guys play the Royals and they play the
Guardians.
Guardians Indians. I wish they play the Astros and beat the Astros. One, from a psychological point of view, like yeah, we're getting our licks back, and you're playing a team that plays simply high quality baseball, and that reinforces you to play high quality baseball and build good and better habits heading into the World Series. And that's what I feel like they lack.
I agree 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was happy that the Houston Astros lost,
Yeah,
but the competitor to me was still like I still wanted to play them though. Like
yeah,
I wanted to get over that hump. And if we lost, guess what? Then we needed to go back to the drawing board. And I told you from day one, if we would have lost in the playoffs, I feel like it's going to bring upon the change that I've been wanting to see. Have I not said that before?
yeah,
We've been
bro.
very critical on the Yankees in this podcast, and rightfully so. They're not a perfect team. I think Michael Kay said it best, where he believed that this team, if they were to win the World Series, does not compare to the rest of the teams. But one
No,
of the things that I do see from this team is that I feel like if we suffer a heartbreak like losing in the World Series, I feel like majority of our team will come back the following year with that experience under our belts, and I guess attack it from spring training on. and you would not see these flaws. It's like, yo, we've done that last year. You know, like we gotta start cleaning it up. That's what cost us. You know, like little things like that. And I'm all for it. Like I don't like this World Series right now. I don't like the trajectory that it's going. But I want to give the Guardians their props. The Guardians are a team that year in and year out they have been developing a very competitive team through minimal resources. The owner not being able to, well, the owner not wanting to pay. He's able to pay. He doesn't want to pay. But they have developed young studs. They have the All Star and David Fry, Big Christmas. They have arguably the best defender in the infield in Jimenez, who made a phenomenal play. You have Bo Naylor, who went 30 for 100. You have his brother, who's a young stud catcher, right? Who else? Stephen Kwan is going to win multiple batting titles as the year progresses. Their pitching staff, their relievers are phenomenal, but the pitching staff could use a little bit of help. Maybe the return of a Shane Bieber will help them. If Tristan McKenzie, maybe he could find his way again, he'll be able to be pretty good. They also had a closer. Uh, his last name, I think it started with the K, but he was their closer. He wasn't their closer. He was like more like their setup man last year. He's pretty good. Class A. We didn't expect Class A to get smoked as often that he did. You know that when has that ever happened? Uh, so I feel like the Guardians, if they, I think Jose Ramirez underperformed, and I say that to say, I went to game two. He hit a home run at the very end against Luke
I told
Weaver,
that, yeah.
right? And even though that run didn't matter, Jose Ramirez is known for killing the Yankees, and that was one guy that I feared. And he didn't do Jose Ramirez things. Now, the Guardians, I think they're going to be good for years to come. I think that what this has proven is the fact that the owner should invest just a little bit more
Yeah,
onto this team, dude. They were
yeah,
literally two big bats away.
yeah. Um, would you say that since the Yankees made it to the World Series, would you say that this gives Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman more time in their tenure as a Yankee? Because I still think changes need to be made, but I feel like some way, somehow, this justifies them still being on the contract from next year going forward. What do you think?
With Aaron Boone,
And Cashman, yeah.
Cashman is going to have his contract expire. I don't think that in a year where we have resurfaced as competitors as you know, World Series favorites or whatever. I feel like last year's moves gave him a little bit more leeway. I don't think that Hal Steinbrenner has what it takes to fire these individuals, dude. I don't think so. I don't think so. And
Because I think
it,
I think Aaron Boone would have been long gone if the OG was still there, you know?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are beginning to question him even now what the moves that have been made going into the World Series. Let's go into the World Series. Fuck it. Let's start it. I'm gonna get on my rant. You ready? Aaron Boone has touched every correct button leading up to this playoffs before the World Series. When we got to the World Series, I think that he started to overthink a lot of these scenarios and he started making these decisions trying to make a moment. You do not bring in Nestor Cortez in extra innings and a relief appearance 6 weeks after the last time he pitched, and he guess what? He got to throw against three straight MVPs. Granted, one of them was intentionally walked, and he did get Otani on one pitch, but the
Really
very
did?
next, yeah, but the very next pitch, or he walked Mookie and then he pitched to Freddie on
Yeah.
the very next pitch. Let me tell you this: Freddie Freeman is one of the smartest baseball players I've ever heard. Right? I've never met him, but from what I've heard via videos and everything like that, he's a very smart hitter at the plate. Multiple Silver Slugger winner. He went up and he started eliminating a lot of the things. For example, first pitch, he's in 6 weeks, he's probably not going to want to throw off speed, right? So at that point, you're hunting either fastball or cutter. He wants to get ahead of the count. So he's most likely going to want to throw fastball as a first pitch, right? And look what happened. To me, that was Aaron Boone to blame. I feel like you could have gone with Tim Hill. I would have lived with Tim Hill giving up that home run versus Ernesto Cortez. And I think that these are things that you have to consider as they're happening. Think about it. Me and you are on the same team. We're both managers, and I'm gonna look into you and say, Gil, um, I think I'm gonna throw in Nestor Cortez, something that he hasn't relieved appearance in months. He hasn't pitched in 6 weeks. And I'm gonna ask him to come back and throw against three straight MVPs. You would look at me and you would say, yeah, no, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I think that you being the baseball mind that you are, right? I think you would have looked at me and been like, you're bugging out. I would have much rather have lived with the decision. And you weigh it. You weigh the consequences.
Yeah,
Let's say they both give up home runs, Nestor Cortez or Tim Hill,
yeah,
a reliever versus a starter that hasn't pitched in months.
yeah.
I think I can live with the fact that my decision, I went with the more secure option, the guy that you literally pay him to be a reliever. I think I would have gone with that option, and he's proven it throughout this whole postseason. Another thing, he pulled Garrett Cole with 80 something pitches,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm not talking about 89 pitches, 88 pitches, 87 pitches. I'm talking about low 80s pitches. Let me
yeah.
tell you something. This man is the highest paid pitcher in the MLB to this day. Still the highest paid pitcher in the MLB, right? These are the moments that no matter what has happened throughout the year, this is where he earns his dollars. And you're gonna tell me that you're gonna pull him with 0 outs in the seventh inning with only 80 something pitches left? He when he was walking away, he looked like he wasn't even done yet. He was like, damn, bro, like, that's the second decision that he's made in the same game that I question. Third, and this is more of an organizational thing. I don't know. Game two, Jose Trevino came in to pitch hit. And it was the first time that he's played a game since I believe maybe game two, game three in Cleveland. I don't know. Right? Leading up to this moment, this guy was Austin Wells was playing so much, dude. Like I didn't even think we had another catcher on the team. And catchers tend to take a lot of breaks. They play 2 games in a row, they got a break. They play 2 more games in a row. That's how it goes. I haven't seen Jose Trevino grab a bat in months. And you're gonna tell me that you're gonna bring him up to bat, game on the line, bases loaded, game two of the World Series, and this man is gonna first pitch swing? That is not professional baseball. And I blame the Yankees organization for the things that they're teaching them. I strongly believe that we are not going to win this World Series. And I'm a Yankee fan, dude. I feel as though, as of right now, as game three starts within an hour, as of right now, the Dodgers deserve to win. I feel like they have played a better brand of clean baseball. When a ball gets thrown from the outfield over to the second baseman, it is your job to protect the ball at all costs. And that allows Shohei Ohtani to go to third. And next thing you know, the game is tied. And it's little things like that you're taught from you're a kid till now. And you're going to tell me that these mistakes, these lackadaisical mental errors are happening in the World Series. This team does not deserve to win the World Series. And that is a God honest truth, bro.
Um, I agree with your takeaways. I feel like Aaron Boone cost the Yankees that game one. I feel like that game one was a very like think about it. Like we will be having a different conversation right now. Even if they lost game two, you're going home with a split. That's all you can ask for.
And
Right?
all you need is to take
All
one.
you
All
need is
you
to
need
take
is to get
one,
one.
and you feel confident. You carry momentum. You take the good takeaways from that game. I feel like the Yankees played well enough to win that game for 8 innings or so.
Before you move on, please don't forget your point. Another thing, the Mets fought back. They
Yeah,
fought back, right?
yeah,
And it
yeah.
didn't feel lucky. It didn't feel like Stanton saved us. It felt like they fucking earned that shit,
They
right?
got slapped. They got right back up. Yeah,
Exactly. And I
yeah,
don't see that out of the Yankees right
yeah.
now. Continue with the point. I just wanted to share again the difference
Um,
between what you were saying at the beginning of the year and then when people were saying, you were comparing them to the Mets and stuff like that, people were looking at you crazy, but it's like Gilbert knows what he's talking about. Y'all just gotta listen and y'all gotta follow us on the 300 Club podcast.
share, comment, all that. But yeah, I feel like I agree with you with the Garrett Cole situation. I feel like you got to leave him in longer. Maybe if he allows a runner or two. He was cruising. He had him. Like maybe he didn't have a high total of strikeouts, but he had him. He had him guessing. He was executing on his pitches. They wasn't getting that rally going. Keeping him off the bases. Like he was cruising. You live and die with your ace, bro. You're paying him the money, bro. He's won before twice. Wait, once or twice, right? With the Astros, once.
Yeah.
Live and die with him. He's your guy. He's your guy. Live and die with him. He's your best pitcher. You cannot take him out that early because, oh, analytics tell me that I can't face him a third time around, or I gotta get a pitcher because of better matchup. Nah, fuck that, bro. Like it's a feel of the game too sometimes. Then my next question is you have Jake Cousins, I believe is your reliever, right? One of y'all?
He's a reliever, yeah.
I feel like he was cruising that eighth inning. I would have considered bringing him out for the ninth, even if you know how to put Nestor in. Let him pitch to the batters. Like he was cruising, he was comfortable. Why not? Why change it up? Then, if you're gonna make a move again, why are you gonna put Nestor Cortez, who to your point has not pitched in over a month and a half, in a high leverage moment against MVPs coming into play? Like you're setting him up for failure. Now this guy's looked at as one of like public enemy number one by
You
Yankee
you
fans.
destroy you
You
destroy his
violated his
confidence, right?
confidence, bro. Like for the foreseeable future, perhaps. He's already kind of shaky as a pitcher, and now you violated. Like as a manager, you set him up to fail. You
Like
built your
you
team, you
let me
lost
ask
the
you
game, and you lost, and you failed on your player, bro. Like you can't do that, bro.
let me ask you a question, right? And I again, this is I'm trying to make a point here because you know your
Yeah,
shit. I want you to paint a scenario
yeah,
where a pitcher in the same boat as Nestor Cortez, right?
yeah,
Same pitchers as Nestor Cortez, same situation, everything.
yeah.
When do you bring a guy like that in the game?
I don't see it. Or the only way I can see it is how the Mets use Senga, for example. Either the game is out of hand, you want him to get some work in, or maybe you put him like first or second inning. If he gets rocked, he gets rocked, but it's early in the game.
Short
But
leash,
you
right?
cannot put him in a high leverage moment in a game and lose situation, bro. You cannot
Exactly.
do that.
Exactly what my point is. Exactly what my point is. And if you wanted to go ahead and like, I mean, it's tough because it was left, right, left. Marcus Stroman hasn't even pitched. And I'm not going to lie. I love me some Nestor Cortez. I love the guy. The dude is a workhorse, and he's definitely has, even though the progression hasn't been immense, the progression has shown. He's now throwing into the fifth and sixth inning, you know? He's pitching with a little bit more finesse. Back then, it was a lot of deception. Now it's looking a lot more finesse, you know?
Yeah,
So he's progressing.
yeah,
But I haven't even seen a Marcus Stroman pitch yet.
yeah.
And I'm curious to know what a Marcus Stroman would look like under this scenario. Maybe in that situation wasn't going to be the best, but if you felt that way about Jake Cousins, then maybe you could have put in Marcus Stroman. There are some guys who, when the lights shine brightest, they become a 99 overall. And Marcus Stroman could have been one of them. I haven't even seen him pitch yet, bro. I have not. And it's just, these decisions are just, they're
Shit,
mind
you
boggling.
could have even brought in Luis Gale that you haven't used that much in the
A
playoffs.
Luis Hill,
And
too,
he throws
exactly.
hard, a flamethrower that could probably get some strikeouts at in
And,
that
and,
situation. Maybe.
And to your point, great point. And to add on to that is that we don't have those pitchers that throw 99 miles an hour coming out of the bullpen. Luis Hill is the closest thing to it.
I would have
Another
exposed
thing,
that. I would have.
another thing that gets me a little bit worrisome is like you said, the Dodgers don't tend to chase pitches, right? But here's the way that the Yankees have been attacking them. A lot of pitches, a lot of sweeping pitches, and a lot of pitches down, and a lot of pitches high. But a lot of the pitches that we're giving them that are just downward, sinkers, changeups, curveballs, those sorts of pitches, they're all pitches to get hit and put the ball in play. And there have been scenario after scenario after scenario where we need a strikeout. We need a strikeout. And we're not getting them. They're putting the ball in play and it's sack fly. And now you're telling a team that's already batting desperate to be that much more desperate. This does not look like a World Series team. And I'm sorry to tell you guys, Yankees. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'll be wrong on a lot of shit. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm jinxing it. But this, to my personal opinion, I don't feel like this looks like a World Series team. It does not. And I wanted to go ahead and share this because this is something where I feel like the Yankees have gotten a lot of pushback for, and that was because they had the chance to acquire. The deal was done to acquire Jack Flaherty, and they backed out of it because of his back,
Yeah.
and he pitched lights out against the Yankees, and I don't blame the Yankees for backing away out of this deal because of his back, being that the year or 2 years prior we did the same thing with Frankie Montas. But he ended up going to the Dodgers and he ended up pitching against us and he ended up winning the game against us too. So missed opportunity there. Missed opportunity there. It's just crazy how life works out. Yamamoto was also contemplating on whether it was the Mets, the Yankees, or the Dodgers. He ends up going to the Dodgers. He ends up beating the Mets and not potentially beating the Yankees. Oh man, how you feel about that, dude?
So whatever, bro. That's what he wanted. At the end of the day, he wants to be close to home to Japan. He wants to play with Otani. That's what he wanted, and he has a chance to win a ring in his first year. Like I'm sure he does not regret his decision. You know.
Yeah, I know, which is crazy to think, but that's sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, man.
And you mentioned the Trevino situation. He swung as a pinch hitter, first pitch, I believe in the ninth inning. I believe Soto got a hit, and he said,
Oh,
"Come on, guys, come on, let's go." He said it in Spanish, and I'm like, "He's
yeah,
a
yeah,
baller, bro. Like
yeah,
this
bro.
is what you want your identity of. You know what I
Can,
mean?"
the price continues to go up to Juan Soto. You know why? Look at this. Game two, he was the only one that had a hit up until the ninth inning, and it was a
Yeah,
home run. We would have been no hit in the World Series if it wasn't for Juan Soto.
he got two hits. Yeah,
Bro, I've seen the Yankees time and time again, dude. You know, I've seen them all year. We almost got no hit in the World Series. If it wasn't for Juan Soto, this team just is in the midst of a cold spell. That's one thing. Two, Juan Soto, I think he led off the ninth or he batted somewhere in the ninth. I think he something about that.
who
But he
bat
ended up
first for you guys? No, Glaber got out. I think Glaber got out,
Glaber
and
got
Soto
out
got
and then
on.
Juan Soto came on, right? And then he ended up
Yeah.
getting another hit. That is the Yankees at that time, the only two hits the Yankees has had the entire game. Right.
Judge struck out, and I think Stan got on base, right? He got a hit too, I think.
Staying on base. Yep, he got walked.
And then it was a pinch hit for Austin Wells that was Trevino, right? That's what it was. I think it was
I
with
think
two outs.
no, I think Rizzo got hit by the pitch and
Oh,
then
so
they
bases loaded, two
yeah.
outs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he got hit by the pitch and
Yeah.
then or Jazz got a hit after
Jazz
Stanton
got a
and
hit.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we were making a move, but again, up until that point, there were only two hits, and Juan Soto was the cause of both of them, and he eventually was the one to start the rally. He looked like he's made for these moments, dude. And it's little things like that. We would have been no hit if it wasn't for Juan Soto, which is crazy.
And then
And yeah, I
and
was
then
I was gonna
for,
talk about Aaron Judge, but I feel like that's gonna be a
oh,
woo.
I'm gonna bring it up. But with Trevino, right? You come off the plate fresh. You have not played in a couple games, and your idea is to hit a first pitch. Like, don't get me wrong, the pitch was great to swing at, but yo, you're not him, bro. Like, and, like, honestly speaking, we gotta have this conversation with players in baseball. Like, if you're not him, why are you feeling entitled to swing at the first pitch, bro? See some pitches. Put the pressure on the pitcher. He has the pressure. You was a tied run at the plate. I think you were. Like, why? Why? See another
With over
pitch.
20 pitches thrown that inning and 30 pitches
Yeah.
thrown the night before.
I understand if you're Juan Soto or Judge or Stanton, sure, swing away. But come on, bro. That's you're not him. You're not. That's not everybody, bro.
I mean,
Everybody does not have the green light. You
to
know?
me is literally when you're coming off the bench. That to me is the most shocking thing. Because
Yeah.
it's
Come
like you
on.
could take all these warm up swings and stuff like that, but let me tell you something. I know the first time you swing super hard coming off the bench, I know your back is cracking, bro. Like I know it. Like like you gotta get loose. You gotta see a couple pitches, see the actual velo. You know what I mean? But I think actually Jazz Chisholm said it best. And I think that the article came out today. He mentioned that the Yankees were looking very anxious and very much looking for moments versus having them happen organically. And I agree. Um,
They lost game one, bro. That's why.
yeah, yeah.
That
And
pressure's on
Judge,
them now,
dude, Judge got a hit, dude. Like,
bro. he's he has 211 at bats in his career in the playoffs. Aaron Judge. He has
what's
85
the over
strikeouts
under on home on strikeouts? Give me a number. Over under.
for tonight
I'm saying like how many like tell me like how many strikeouts does he have and ask me does he have over this amount or under this amount?
of his playoff career, right?
Yeah.
Over 65, over under.
He gotta have over 65 strikeouts.
Yeah, he do. He's over. So
Damn.
he has
That's
85 strikeouts, bro.
85 out of 200 at bats.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable, bro.
Yeah, that's not it, bro. That's you're not gonna win games with that. And if I always said it like this way, bro, I'm like the only way the Yankees win a ring, no matter how good the others are, he has to get going, bro. You're the anchor of your team, you're the captain of your team, and your team feeds off your energy, bro. And you have not gotten going. You have not done your part. And I thought this was the year that with having Soto it would have been a little easier for you to hit in the playoffs. And now Stanton is on some old time breaking right now. So you would think this is the perfect scenario for Josh to thrive. And he's just not hitting. I do think that the way pitchers are attacking him is part of it because they're doing a lot of slurs and sweepers and it's making him chase out of the zone, but he's
It's
also
a
not
lot
very
of
hard.
0-2 counts. It's a lot of like
He's just getting beat.
I've seen a trend of all of his I've seen a trend of all of his at bats, and it's been a lot of first pitch sliders, gets him swinging, opens it up, next pitch fastball. So it's like he sees 86, 87, and then boom, then 99, and before you know it, you're in 0-2 count and you're already in protective mode. And it's tough to swing the bat like that. Like I get when he was batting against Clase, he was batting with two strikes and was able to muscle the ball out of the ballpark,
Yeah.
barely, but he did it. But you can't always have your at bats like that. It's not the best way to hit. You got to get yourself in hitters counts. I feel like, bro, it's so embarrassing, and it sucks to say this because the Yankees are like the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL.
Yeah.
It is so embarrassing at the fact that pitchers are now beginning to walk and intentionally walk Soto to get to
Yeah.
Judge. I don't think anybody would have ever predicted that.
And that's what I will do right now, still, until he figures it out.
And
Facts.
it's a mind game. It's you're
Yeah.
literally putting on more pressure. There are some rumors that right now people are contemplating on giving him a standing ovation, similar to what the Phillies did with Trey Turner. What are some thoughts and opinions you want to share on that? Just in terms of the psyche of an athlete, and just your general opinions on that. Do you think it's played out? Do you feel like it works?
It's all right.
Do you feel like it's something that should be done more often, less often?
I don't think I should be done more often. I think it's fine when it happens. I do think it's better than you shitting on a player and not getting him down while he's down. So you have nothing to lose with being positive, cheer him. Maybe he gets it going back home in the World Series. I'm for it. I don't have complaints with that.
Good. I agree. I don't want it to be in a situation where it gets played out. I agree. I feel like fans should do a better job of not bashing the players, especially the Yankee crowd, man. You already know how that
But
goes.
people are like for example, I'm a fan. Like I'm a passionate Mets fan and I'm a passionate baseball fan. But I'm not the type of guy to be like, oh, you fucking suck. I hope your mother dies. Like it's not that serious to me. And a lot of people are like that, bro. And like they shout these things to these players. Like, yeah, they might not acknowledge you, but they hear it in the back of their head. They see things online. Sometimes these athletes get DMs, like crazy DMs, like that hurts. And like, yeah, people always say, oh, but their job is to be baseball players. They're getting paid all these millions of dollars. Yeah, man. But at the end of the day, they're humans. They have emotions, and they probably have problems in their personal lives too that we don't know about. Like it's easy to critique something or someone when you're not in their shoes. Like you want what about you as a fan? What if you were a player and you're not performing to your expectations and people come for your head and what you want people to be mean to you? You don't want people to give you sympathy? Like it's the same way, bro. I don't know. That's how I see things.
Very well said. Nah, I mean, look at the Joey Gallos of the world. He was
Yeah,
desperate to get out of New York as soon as he
yeah,
got here, dude, and it sucks to see that. Um,
yeah,
I feel like this is a moment where, and a lot of people, this is circling around social media. I hope it's something that they end up doing. Um, Aaron Judge has done a lot. He has done a
yeah,
lot for us year in and year out since his debut. He has, bro. I remember my mom went to her first Yankee game in like 20 years, like a year ago. Bro, I
yeah,
think it was. I think it was like the year that Judge broke the record,
yeah,
but he ended up hitting a walk-off home run against Romero from the Blue Jays.
yeah.
And I remember like my mom, I was the first person that she called, and she was so happy, and she's never seen that in her life. And the ball nearly landed her way.
Oh wow.
And Aaron Judge has developed moments that people would remember forever.
Yeah,
He regardless if he wins a ring or not. I don't know where he falls in terms of the Yankee Mount Rushmore, but his efforts, what he's done for us, does not go unnoticed. He's provided so many memories for us. He's the captain right now. Will continue to be the captain for the next 8, 7 years or whatever. I feel like now more than ever we need to support him, and I feel like the same should be said for anybody that goes through the situation in terms of like if their statue is like, for example, if Francisco Lindor was going through the situation, I would have called for the same thing.
yeah,
Like this dude has done a lot,
yeah.
and nagging on players in general it doesn't necessarily get you anywhere. It doesn't.
I I just feel like as New Yorkers and New York fans of sports, I feel like we have this sense of entitlement, and that's why it reflects like in whatever sport that is. Like there's times where we want a superstar that's a free agent, they sometimes they don't want to consider New York because it doesn't help the pressure, the media and the fans coming for you.
Well, big
And
markets, period.
Rivers,
Because
huh?
Philly could be brutal too. Like,
Yeah,
and not just the Bronx, but I mean, but we got the reputation. But in general, like big markets, a lot of people might shy away from that.
yeah, I get it, man. And it's like, yeah, but not everybody's built to play New York. Of course, not everybody's built to play New York, but you guys don't make it easier either, bro. Like they're athletes, bro. They don't want to go to the play and be like, hey, I'm going to strike out on purpose. Obviously, they want to succeed. Obviously, Nestor Cortez didn't want to give up a home run, but he did. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna am I really angry at Nestor or am I angry at Boone? And I feel like Boone let his player down. Like he made Nestor public enemy number one.
You're
You
supposed to
probably
put,
destroyed
yeah.
him,
You,
and I feel like you put him in a situation to fail more than succeed. And that was just horrible, bro. Like I was really like, wow, this really just happened. And I had a feeling, bro. I'm like, that's just a very questionable move, very gutsy, but very questionable. I don't think I would have done that in thousands of opportunities. I don't think I would have put myself in that situation.
exactly, exactly. No, I agree. Very well said. Very well said. You are preaching to the choir. And we shall see. The next time that we probably record, we might have a winner, we might not. We try to provide an episode for you guys on a weekly basis here on the 300 Club podcast. We record every Tuesday or Thursday, more or less. Next time that we sit down, we might have a winner, we might not. But I want to hear your
Yeah,
predictions, dude. I'm gonna say it like this: if the Yankees win, we win in 7 games.
yeah.
If the Dodgers win, I win. I feel like they will win in 5 games. I don't see a sweep. I think that maybe we can evade one. I think we could get one in the Bronx. But I feel like the Dodgers will win 4-1. In grand total, let me say it like this. I don't know who's gonna win this World Series. I say Yankees in 7 or Dodgers in 5. Regardless, um, the Yankees needs to play a better brand of baseball, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it for the remainder of the series. That is a miracle. That is something to watch. I don't know if they have it in them though. What about you?
I agree. I feel like if the Yankees were to win, it'll be Yankees in 7. If Dodgers win, it's Dodgers in 5. I do
Really?
think
You 100% agree? That's awesome.
no, yeah, I
That's
agree.
pretty
I
good.
feel like tonight is the night, game 3, that they have to win. Like you have to, like if you want to have any chance of winning the series, you have to win tonight. Because if you win tomorrow, that's down 3-0, and even then, you got to win 4 straight. That's how the Red Sox did to the Yankees. So very highly unlikely. They have to win today. I think today's is it a bullpen game for the Dodgers tonight, or is it
I think
Bueller?
it is.
Yeah.
I think it
Nonetheless,
is.
though, you gotta cash in when you can. Aaron Judge, he's had opportunities with runners on base, plentiful. You have to do something, bro, for your team. You gotta give something back to your team to have a chance.
And bro, a hit, bro. I haven't heard a bloop and a blast all year in like 5 years. I don't
Yeah,
even hear that no more. Like
yeah.
it just starts with a hit, dude. Like we're not asking for a home run. If it happens, it happens. Just do your. Everybody has a job to do.
I have another question for you as a fellow Yankee fan.
Hmm.
My question to you is: in the situation back where Trevino pinch hit again, you don't think it probably would have been better to put Jason Dominguez to hit? And then put Trevino as a substitute if they were to tie the game or something.
No. You know why? Because when Stanton got on base, I was yelling at the TV. Why isn't he pinch running?
I also thought that too. I'm like, yo, why is that running?
So to answer your question, at that moment, I was not thinking Trevino. At that point, I mean, I'm sorry. At that point, I was not thinking Jason Dominguez should hit. I was thinking, why isn't he running for Stanton? That's the go ahead run, or time run, or something like that.
Yeah,
And so to answer your question, at that moment, I wasn't thinking Trevino.
but nonetheless, though, if you're not gonna pinch hit him, I feel like it's fair to
He
give him a
hasn't even gotten
chance.
that bat, bro. I
He's a
don't.
high prospect, and I feel like it just doesn't make sense why he's in the roster if he's just not gonna be used at all. That's how I see it.
I agree. I agree. I mean, Verdugo has been playing phenomenal at different defense. So shout out to him because he was under immense scrutiny, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah,
Excuse me. So shout out to him. But Jason Dominguez, I look at it like this. I think he's there for pinch hit situations. Like right now, I'll take him over Austin Wells. Uh, that's not my decision to make. The only thing is that with Jason Dominguez, I feel like they will feel a lot more comfortable if they were up 2-0.
for
Because the
sure,
other
for
thing with
sure.
Jason Dominguez is that throughout the season, and at least when he was brought up to the major league, his defense hasn't been up to par. And we're already making a lot of mental mistakes. We're already making a lot of not great baseball plays. So it's like I don't want to throw that in there as well. And it's not a Dominguez thing. It's the fact that the Yankees have not allowed us to feel that comfortable to put him in to succeed. I don't want to put him in a situation where we might break him.
Yo, and your boy Anthony Volpe, he has to be better hitting, bro. Like I'm sorry,
Yeah, he has to
bro.
be better.
Like I really feel like Yankee fans to the core, like y'all give that kid a lot of grace, bro. Don't get me wrong though, he's young, so it's understandable. But damn, dude, like it's just like I don't see quality at bats when he bats, bro. It's a lot of swing and miss. The
Yeah.
approach is like a very home run or bust approach. Nah, bro, play to your strengths, bro.
And
Play lose.
we've passed up on the Correas, we've passed on the
Oh
Machados,
man.
we've passed on the Corey Seagers. Corey Seager has won a ring. Like we've passed on all of these players for Anthony Volpe. He is here in this moment now. I still feel like this is going to be a growing pain for him. I still feel like, for example, last year he was brought up to the major leagues without even sniffing AAA. So I get it. I think that late in this year, the Yankees saw that in order for him to be at his best, you do need to give him a day off or two. I do think that that's something, but again, you're finding this out now. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that we're gonna go into next year correcting a lot of the mistakes, and I feel like it's gonna take a World Series loss like this to show us what we need to do in order to get to where we want to go. Great point, though. We are very, graceful with him, but nah, it's getting up to the point where he got to do big things.
And like it's unfortunate, but it's reality. Like whoever plays shortstop for the Yankees has to live in the shadows of Derek Jeter, bro. Like he's
Yeah.
whoever that is gonna be always compared to the greatness of Jeter, to how Jeter stepped up, to Jeter's production. And realistically speaking, there is no other Jeter, but nonetheless, you kind of have to hold your own. You know, that's how
Just
I
do
look
your
at it.
job. Just do your
Do
job.
your
Just play
job.
solid defense and get your hits. Moments happen organically. You think Jeter was trying to hit a home run when he did it against the Orioles and Jeffrey Mayer went and picked it? Like he wasn't trying to hit a home run there. He was just trying to hit the ball hard. But like I said, I feel like these are just going to be growing pains. There was a span in the MLB when we were coming up in high school and in college, where the previous or whatever the World Series champion was that year, they played it the year before. It happened with the Royals, and I think it happened with the Giants, and it happened, I think, with another team. So I feel like this could be a situation where the Yankees live and learn, and hopefully next year they come in with a better mentality for these situations. And I also don't think it's going to happen with Aaron Boone. It can't. These decisions are managerial decisions, and we're
Yeah,
losing games because of them.
yo,
Important games.
it's crazy how Tani got hurt and he's already back in game three. Like shows a testament to that dude is built different, bro.
I mean, a lot of people held their breath. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah,
was I
it
was
looks
kind
like
of
it.
holding my breath, but I don't even want to say. But I was like, damn. I mean,
It
if you
looked
don't come
ugly
back,
too.
fuck it.
But I also want to point now, heads up play for him to go in the third on that missed throw at second too, because that changed the whole game for them too.
And like I said, it's these are fundamental things that it can't happen in the World Series. These are things that you're supposed to be prepared for. Like, why are you trying to pick the ball with one hand and a backhand at that?
I showed a video of where Harold Reynolds, MLB network analyst, he was breaking down the coverage, where you're supposed to position yourself. It seems like Glaber was late arriving to second when the play happened, and he wasn't in a position to block that ball in some way. He could have even left the base and reached the ball or put his knee down and block it with his body. He did neither. It was just very risky in that situation. Otani's a very quick, fast runner, and he's very smart with IQ. You
And
cannot
that ended
afford
up
to give
being
him
the
that extra
time
base,
run.
and you cannot afford to give him that extra base. It changed the whole dynamic of that inning, you know?
And it ended up being
And
the time run. These are things you can't happen.
Soto, as great as Soto is, he has to improve his defense. His defense is very questionable. What I mean by that is it seems like he's not good going back on the balls. It seems like he doesn't play outfield deep enough, so that hurts him a bit. And it seems like he doesn't read the ball uh,
Hmm.
quick enough to know how to go back or how to track it correctly. And those extra seconds that he may have delayed could be the difference making between that play being a better throw or not. You know what I mean? Like he kind of hesitated a little bit. I don't know why he did that off the wall of Otani's head.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Labor didn't
And
help. So it was a lot of miscues there, you know?
and also like even though he's been nominated to be a Gold Glove at
I
this
don't know
point,
how, bro. I don't know how.
Soto, right? I don't know how, but I mean these are decisions that it's like you ask yourself, dude, have you made a catch like that all year? So why are you gonna attempt it now? But I mean, like I said, you got to show grace on those players because there's a lot of other mistakes that are much more worrisome. But I mean, that pretty much has all my points, bro. We'll see. I need to wrap it up. I need to go ahead and go eat. Any other last points that you want to go ahead and make?
Nah, man, I just want to see New York get a chip, man. Hopefully, it starts tonight with a
You
win tonight.
do? For real? That means a lot, bro.
Yeah, man, I don't want the Dodgers to win.
Oh yeah.
That team beat
Is it
my
is it
team,
more because
man.
they eliminated you that you don't want to see the Dodgers win, or is it because you generally? Which one is it? Is it like you want New York to win, or is it that because the Dodgers eliminated you, you just don't want to see them win?
I want New York to come up in a rise. Liberty won last week. I'm a Knicks fan too, so hopefully they win soon. And I'm a Mets fan, and the Yankees are up almost every year. So I think it's time for New York to change that. I feel like Los
Right.
Angeles has had many success in various
Boston
sports.
too.
Boston, and Los Angeles has been dominating.
Texas also have had their moments.
I feel like it's time for New York to be up. I do have one more point though. It's a little fun, real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we wrap up. So basing on how the Dodgers have been playing against the Yankees, let's say they win in five, for example, and the way they have been winning, would you say that the Mets had a better chance than the Yankees playing the Dodgers, like in that sense? Is that fair to say?
I'm gonna answer. No, that's a fair question. First off, that's a very fair question. And if you really wanna a real answer, I'm gonna say it like this. Great question, by the way. You might have a career in this. um, I think it's fair to say that the Mets have put up better competition than the Yankees right now. And the number one point is what my argument is that every time the Dodgers punched, the Mets punched back. Every
Yeah,
time that the Dodgers gave an answer, the Mets were right there to give it right back to them. And I have
yeah,
not, even though it's just been 2 games, I have
yeah,
not seen that out of the Yankees. And even if it's just 2 games, I saw more fight like that out of the Mets than I've seen out of the Yankees throughout this entire playoff run.
yeah,
We started trading punches with the Guardians, and they weren't as big as haymakers as what the Mets were doing. It's like it's a very fair question. I think that's a very fair question. You guys can go ahead and share your comments below. Um, but I don't know, dude. That was a very good question. I think it's fair to say.
You guys are wrapping it up. This is episode 24. My name is Gil. This is Coven. We'll see us live. Hopefully, next time we tap in, we have different results, different news of the Yankees and the Dodgers World Series. Let us know in your comments what you think is going to happen tonight or the next few games, and we'll be back. We out of here.